Good afternoon, brother Leo
Good
Muhammad.
afternoon, my brother.
How are you?
What's up, my brother? I'm hanging in there, my brother, during this crisis. First, I would like to wish all my fans from YouTube from England well, and extremely, I would like to send my condolences out to the former middleweight champion of the world, good guy. All the times I was with him when he brought fighters over here and worked with Mickey Duck, the great late Alan Minter. I want to send my love and condolences out to his family, and we pray that God continue to bless them as they go through the healing process.
Fantastic, fantastic. Obviously it's a very difficult time now for the Minter family. Great fighter, yes, Alan Minter, world middleweight champion, and he fought the great Marvin Hagler as well. So condolences. What were your thoughts on his career as a fighter, Alan Minter?
Alan Minter was in an era, post-era, of great welterweights and middleweights. He was in the right era, and he fought some good guys. He fought some Hall of Famers. He fought some guys that tough as mother. Alan Minter was tough as nails, man. He come to fight. One thing I will always give him and Henry credit, they're going to bring the noise. Either you catch them or they catch you.
Wow.
And with my experience, and I can't leave out Joe Buckner, another tough English guy, tough. The late Scipion, he put himself in position. The fight Marvin put it tighter, he got the shot. Those guys were dedicated over there. They were dedicated to their craft, and Mickey moved a lot of them. He got a lot of good shots. And my opinion on Alan Minter, he was in the right era. Got the shot, won the crown, and defended the crown, and lost the crown. But he gave you a good fight. And the times he was over here, he came over for certain fighters. We would talk, have something to eat. That's how I saw it in Atlantic City. And a great guy.
One of the things that was over Minter's career, and I discovered and researched it afterwards, that somebody putting up to say to Marvin Hagler or somebody in his promotional team or PR team said that no black man will ever take my title. He didn't actually say that. He said that it was one of the... Yes, please clear that up.
Let me tell you something. And I want all the English fighters, all the English brother, Alan Minter didn't talk like that. He didn't talk like that. I was with him in Atlantic City. Don King opened his arms to him. Alan Minter, he wasn't, to me, he didn't say that. I've had people say to me, why do you always talk about him? I said, because he was a good guy. And that was taken out of context. When you have to look at Marvin Hagler's team, it's publicity. And I mean, you know who, Mr. Jones?
Yes, I'm here, I'm listening.
I don't see him, I believe my heart, he didn't say that. And I'm going to stand on that till I die. My friendship with him was a good guy. Sometimes, in our business, people take things out of context.
That was
like the situation with Tyson peeling the gloves. People looking for press. Press is selling papers. So we have to be mindful. We have to be mindful as a people, no matter what color you is. Don't put something out that a person didn't say. And my heart, I don't believe he said it. And I don't think he would say something like that. That wasn't the element that I knew.
Do you think that was just to sell tickets then?
I believe both promotions. And at that time, I want to say, and you know, I have a working relationship with Top Rank.
Yes.
But you have to do your homework. You already did, Brother Jones.
Mm-hmm.
You know who had Marvin Hagler. So it's self-explanatory. It's self-explanatory. You knew who had him, you know who his promoter was.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and I have a working relationship with Top Rank people over there. I deal strictly with Brad Goodman, Bruce Trampler. Back in the old days, I deal strictly with Mick King. Brother Jones, do you remember an English promoter, John True Shoes, White Shoes?
No, I don't. Tell me about him.
He had a kid, and maybe you can look it up. I want to say in the late 90s, I saw the former middleweight champion over there to fight this kid. I saw the former Keith Mullins. I saw him over there. I made a deal with the guy. The guy he wasn't I'm not going to say bad, but to me, he wasn't fair as Frank Warren and Mickey was with me down through the years. I'll put it like that.
Okay.
I'm not going to put no salt on nobody over there. I just say Mickey and them made sure me and my team was all right. He did some, but he didn't do what Mickey and Frank have done for me down through the years. I've had a good working relationship with Mickey and the late Mickey Duff and Frank Warren.
Okay. Okay. Fine. So I read an article about that whole thing about Minter and the whole no black man will I'll never lose my title to a black man or something like that. And he said that it was something that he never said, he was made to say, and he said that it was the worst thing, and it kind of put a dark cloud over his career, because every time he talked about Alan Minter, that statement would come up.
You know what? Brother Jones, you're a young guy. That statement came up in 90 City, and I had to clarify it, and Alan was there. We was having a drink, eat some food.
Yeah.
And Don hugged him. Bobby Goodman hugged him. The champ. They pay homage. But to do that to this man, even though the master called him in, I'm standing on it.
Yeah.
I don't believe in my heart to the core, Brother Jones. And God is my witness. I don't believe he said it. I believe it was taken out of content by both camps of publicity. Yeah. And that's where the dark cloud man. And I want my English man to know I'm standing with him. I'm going to always say he was a good guy and a great fighter till the master called me in. That's my position on Alan Minter.
Alan Minter, great champion. Thanks for everything in boxing. God rest your soul, brother. Rest in peace.
Yes. So
we're here today to talk about your book, The Superstar, The Rise, Fall and Restoration of the Country Boy. So I'm here to find out more about this book, more about you, and why we really need to be reading this book. So tell us a bit about you, Brother Leon.
Brother Jones, I come from the southern state. My father's family from Alabama, and my mother's family from South Carolina. Came up hard in the cotton field. Came up to Philadelphia and became a legend in the street. Joined the Nation of Islam. I did a lot of things. I worked in the community. But the most important thing I want to stress for every young adult, our felon and our rose went through the penitentiary. I was in the streets. But you got to get up and do something positive. If you don't do nothing but help somebody in the neighborhood, encourage these children today to get their education. Because, Brother Jones, I had to work in the field. I got some education. I got all my education out the street. Of course, when I was in, I got an associate. I'm a GED. I got a lot of technical colleges. so specifics. But the main part, this book tells you how I rose from the cotton field through the penitentiary to the Hall of Fame. How I made mistakes like everybody else. But I resurrected myself now, doing things in the community. I'm a legend in Philadelphia. I'm known all over the world through the fight game. But what I want these children to know, get up and do something for you. As I said, do for self, stand on principles. I'm about principles. And my mother always taught me, and she still do. You have to, you know where you come from, but you have an idea and work to get where you're going. You understand where I'm coming from, Brother John?
I do understand that. I do understand that.
Really?
Yeah. I'm listening to you. I'm just listening to you. That's why I got quiet. I just listen to you. This is you. It's all about you.
But I ain't want to say claim the thing. I'm gonna say my blessings. I was blessed to be with Muhammad Ali for a long time. I was with Michael Spinks. I started my matchmaking business out of Joe Frazier's gym on Broad Street with a former champ, rest in peace, smoking Joe Frazier. I've worked with a lot of fighters. As I said earlier, I did a lot of business with the late Mickey Duck, right? Of course, everybody knows that Butch Lewis was my family and my guy. And my thing today is the same mission, is to give back. Because God has blessed me, the country boy. And I'm ever so grateful. My late brother-in-law, James Black Goldschuler, I'm pretty sure you have studied Tommy Hearn's history.
Yes.
Tommy fought my brother-in-law, James Schuler, March 10th, 1986, on the undercard of my dear friend, Mickey Portable, Mickey Word, rest in peace, Mickey Dub, John the Beast
Montgomery. Wow.
Listen, me and Mickey, I got to get that tape to Mickey was a funny guy. God bless Mickey, rest in peace, champ, up in heaven. Mickey Word me so in Tampa, Florida, August 4, 1984. I brought in Frank the Animal Fletcher for John the Beast Montgomery. And I've been around the game a long time. I've been blessed, Brother Jones, to rub shoulders with the minister, Reverend Jackson. A few weeks ago, I was with my dear friend Al Sharpton. I didn't dab in politics when I filled up as ward leader. I've been able to do a lot of things, but I feel I got back up. I just want the readers, especially young readers, to know where I came from during the post-civil rights movement in the South. So we have to be mindful and stay prayed up, Brother Jones. That's why I mentioned you earlier. I like what you and your organization is doing. And I will stand with you, and whatever popularity God has blessed me to have, I offer my support. Me and my partner, Dr. Susan Khan. That's my position.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
And let me say this. A lot of people don't know. And we missed the guy, Brother Jones. And I got to mention this guy. He was a funny guy. John Conte.
John Conte. Yes. Light heavyweight champion of the world.
I had a guy named Eddie Duncan out of Philadelphia. I signed him over there. Mickey took care of him good for me. I didn't go, but Mickey made sure he was all right. John Conte. I had to mention John Conte. Okay. Former light heavyweight champion for the world.
Yes, from Liverpool.
Yes. Stand up guy.
Wow. Wow. There's lots to talk about in your book, and I don't want to ruin it for other people, but let's go through some highlights. So you wasn't originally involved in boxing, were you? No, you talked about baseball.
No.
So how did that happen?
You know what, Brother Jones? I went to all-black school in South Carolina.
Okay.
Yard Butler. A year or so, I attended Wilkinson in Orangeburg. I attended Bohe's small Southern College baseball. My father was a baseball boxing guy. My father, the late Jimmy Olin, a stand-up soldier in World War II. My father loved the baseball. He was a Satchel Paige guy. And we used to sit around. We didn't have a TV back then. We used to sit around the radio. My father had one of those old big radios, and he used to turn the radio, and it's 1955 D soda, and some of my uncle and them would put chairs out and listen to the game, and then we would sit around and listen to Joe Louis highlights and Ray Robinson, because you know I'm a big Ray Robinson fan. I think it's of all time. But when I came to Philadelphia, I was hanging around the gym, Brother Jones, toting the buckets. Time was hard. I just got to Philly. I haven't became a street legend yet, which I'm not proud of. I thank God I'm above that with a lot of praying people. And I was hanging around the gym, Champ's Gym in Philadelphia, and I had a neighbor, was an old-time trainer, old-time fighter from the 40s named Bill Sawyer. He said, "Bruh, you good at what you do. Become a matchmaker." So, and at that time, I knew what it was, but I just didn't know how the contact is done. So I hooked up later on in years. I worked with Don Alabama, Russell Peltz, and then, of course, I was with Butch Lewis. As being a Muslim, I was able to get with Ali. Butch brought me in to be a liaison for Michael Spinks. But baseball was my passion. Then I did a little amateur boxing, a little pro boxing in the backwoods of Minnesota and South Carolina. I wasn't a great, I was a tough, big country boy. But, I went on to be one of the top matchmakers in Butch Lewis' office, assistant matchmaker in Don King's office. I did a lot of business with Top Rank. I did a lot of business, as I said before, with a lot of promoters. But when I got in this, and when you get in this business, it's hard to get out. But my passion was baseball. Because anything my father liked, I liked it. And my father loved the Satchel Paige and Frank Robinson.
Okay.
Of the Baltimore Orioles. Okay. And Satchel Paige with the Cleveland Indians. And then I come into Philadelphia, as I said before, became a street legend, a strong member of the Nation of Islam, under the leadership of the MUHAMAD Minister Jeremiah, as well as in New York with Minister Farrakhan, the Honorable Minister Farrakhan.
Yes.
May Allah bless him and Sister Khadija and his family.
Yes, absolutely. How much of an impact, obviously joining the Nation of Islam, how impactful was that, or is that to your life? How did it change your life?
You know what? I'm going to say this, and I'm going to stand on this. When I took a stand, my family was already, my whole family, they was already Garvinites. Father Marcus Darby, some of my family was deep rooted in the Baptist church, and one of my uncle and them that left home in Chicago and St. Louis, they was followers of the late Marcus Garvey. They were Garvinites. And I've already had a sense of the direction that I wanted to go. One day, I'm walking down Broad Susquehanna, so I'm hearing the doors was open at temple number 12, and I said, let me go in here, see what these brothers talk about. And at that time, Minister Jeremiah was talking. He said, come on in, young brother. Hear the life-giving teachings of the Most High Elijah Muhammad. I knew Elijah Muhammad was. I've heard of Noble Ali. I've heard of Elijah Muhammad because my cousin in Tubman Point, D.C. was following. But I said, man, I ain't following nobody. And then it was a great impact because I learned a lot, Brother Jones. And today, I stand on the principles of Islam, but not like in them days. I embrace all religions. That's why I said about your program we discussed earlier. So it gave me a lot of insight. I got more insight when I was inside than I do when I was outside because I was moving and shaking here and there. But I have learned a lot from the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, the late Brother Malcolm, and most of Minister Jeremiah Shabazz. I learned how to stand up, be accountable for, be a man, treat my woman right, and do something good for my community. Because when I first came in, I was thinking like a street hustler, which I once was, but now I'm more focused on doing what is right. That's what I learned in the early days of the Nation of Islam. Now, I follow Al-Islam, not taking nothing away from the nation. Good brother, the minister doing a good job. He's older now, but he's still standing up, giving back to our people and to the communities. That's my take on the Nation of Islam in those days and today, Brother Jones.
How important is the Nation of Islam for the black community?
Let me say this. The Nation of Islam, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he has a way of addressing certain things. It's very important in the community. Farrakhan have been a champion for our people for many, many years by God's blessing, as well as Reverend Jesse Jackson, who's going through some medical problems, Reverend Sharpton. It's important. If you think about it, Brother Jones, not taking that away from no medicine, Gates, Juanita Bynum, Billy Graham, the late Billy Graham's sons. But if Minister Farrakhan called any artist, they're going to come in.
They are.
Now, if he put the word out, they're coming in. Certain ministers put the word out, they got to call this person, you got to call that person. Farrakhan said, come on in. All the rappers, all the entertainers, all the ball players, they're going to hear what the minister has to say. God have blessed him to be a good communicator with all people. He say what he means, and he stand on what he say, and he stand on the scripture.
Amen.
You know this, Brother Jones.
I know this.
The impact that it takes. Every time he give a lecture, he don't overlook nobody. He said, we thank God for Moses and the Torah. Most surely we thank God for Jesus and the gospel, and Muhammad and the Holy Quran. Here's a guy that they're saying controversial, but he giving thanks to God for all the prophets that came. It's very important to have someone that's standing on truth and standing on what is right. That's my perception of him and the nation today. It plays a good part in the young adult's life.
If there wasn't,
when I was young,
if there,
I learned a lot from the minister.
Yes. If there wasn't a Nation of Islam, what would the community look like?
You know, Brother Jones, the community, it was in an uproar. We don't have politicians coming out talking to these young guys, our young brothers in these gangs, in these streets. We love them. We try to give them a word of confidence to stand on principle. The nation guys are always out there offering advice the best they can. One thing I want to say, and I want to clarify this. I am a supporter of major black organizations, but I don't know, and I don't want this taken out of context. I see the ancient alarm brothers out there in the communities. I don't see many other groups out there in the community. Not saying that they're not out there, Brother Jones. I'm not saying the NAACP is not out there. I'm not saying CORE's out there. I'm not saying that Billy Khan organization don't have people out there in certain communities. But we, as the old saying, it take a whole village, a whole nation to raise a child.
Amen.
So the Nation of Islam plays a part, and a lot of ministers doing their job. Bishop Jake's got a good program down near the Potter House in Texas. It takes everybody to work together. And when you look at it, Brother Don, you get your homework because you're in the ministry. A lot of ministers want it all for themselves. Not being greedy, but they have to work with other ministers in their community to make all this work. And that's why I'm only standing on the Nation of Islam. They are visible, Brother Joe. They are visible. Not saying that these other organizations are not out there.
But they are.
But I can testify to the Potter House because my brother goes there every couple of years. But it went this year when I went for the coronavirus. And I see them brothers out there in the field. The members and followers of the Most Honorable and the minister, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Not taking nothing away from nobody else.
But absolutely.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is. So I did want to touch on that about the Nation of Islam, your connection, because I know that's a very big part of whom you are and how you express. And there was no way I could do this conversation, talk about this book without touching on that part there. I would love to go into it in more detail, but obviously we want to talk more about your journey outside of that as well. So let's talk about
the Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam got me ready for boxing.
There we go. You see, so we can see.
I was a real Southern renegade. The Nation of Islam taught me how to stand on principle. Taught me how to be social, how to do what is right.
Amen.
If it wasn't for the teaching of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and his minister Farrakhan, Brother Malcolm, and my late minister, Minister Jeremiah Shaheed, who really got me up to par was Imam Shamsuddin Ali, Mike Tyson's father-in-law right now.
Wow.
Those guys taught me stuff. They said, come on over here, big country. They call me big country. Let us give you a word of advice, a word of encouragement. It's not hard to say, good morning, young man, how you doing? When I get on the bus, I told you them young books. I said, man, how you doing in school, man? You doing the right thing? You listen to your band? I've always give a word of encouragement. The scripture said, honor thy mother and father, that days will be long upon the earth. And you know the scripture, Brother Jones.
Absolutely.
That's what I stand on. The Nation of Islam played a big part in my life. I still got respect for ministering with his work. And I respect all these Christian organizations that's standing on what they believe and doing what they believe that they're doing. I try not to overlook no one. But the Nation of Islam was a major part getting me where I am at today.
Yes. Yes.
As a business captain,
yes,
in the Nation of Islam, I was in charge of the outback juice, the bean pies, for the late minister,
those bean pies. And those bean pies. I tell you, when I went when I went to Chicago headquarters, and I had bean pies. I went to the Salam, and I ate there. And my word, those bean pies are amazing.
Yes. And see, Brother Jones, a lot of people of all races and all walks of life have a misconception of Islam, a misconception of Christianity, and misconception of what your Honorable Louis Farrakhan be speaking on at his lectures. This man have been a champion in our community, as well as Reverend Jackson, who's ailing now, Reverend Sharpton, Billy Graham have been a labor in the community. I'm not going to take nothing away from none of them. They all did good work, and they feel in their capacity. But I stand on the name of Islam. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, I didn't come to teach Islam. I come to clean you up. And to be accountable for, to do for self, and stop depending on anybody. Make your own bones. Do something in your community. That's my perception, and the Nation of Islam have helped me get to the stage I am now. And I've always been dedicated to the Nation of Islam and a lot of organizations that I'm associated with. That's my perception.
Thank you for that. The boxing career. If people were to ask, okay, who's Lil Muhammad? I see videos about him in boxing. What would you say if you're going to describe yourself in a minute? Who are you in boxing?
I am the legendary Lil Muhammad. I'm a matchmaker. I made part of a lot of world champions' career. I was there as a matchmaker with a lot of champions. And I owe a lot to the late Lou Duba, because he gave me a lot of work, as well as Russell Peltz. But my bones was with Ali and Butch Lewis. That's what I do. When you say a power broker, like on Wall Street, I'm a power broker in boxing. I get things done. I don't drag out. If a fight needs to be made, I can help get it made. I ain't gonna drag it out 5 years. I could have, with the talent and the knowledge God bless me, it took them 5 years to make Floyd and Manning. I could have got it done in 6 months, where everybody would have been happy. You got to be able to work with people. And I've been blessed with the knowledge and know how to work with all communities, and as well as in boxing. People both apply what you learn through the years as your adolescent years and apply it to your adult years, and everything will work out all right. All you got to do is stand on truth, bro. Everything else works itself out.
Yes.
That's my perception. That's my belief. That's how I believe I'm blessed to work and get to a few Hall of Fames. I earned it. Anybody give it to me? I earned it.
Let's talk about 3 fights that you made. Three of the biggest fights that you made in boxing.
The 3 fights that I made, I was part of a lot of major
yes.
fights. The former light heavyweight champion, Prince Charles Williams, I'm with him. I was with your friend, 2-time former heavyweight champion of the world, still my friend today, my brother Tim Witherspoon.
Okay.
I was part of Michael Spink's whole career. I was Butch Lewis' understudy, right there. Obviously, a lot of people don't know that all these guys at top rank, and I take my hats off the top rank. My dear friend Bruce Crampler and Brad Goodman over there. But I was there first. Herbert Muhammad put me and Butch over there with Bob Barrow when Bob first left the Justice Department. When people talk about top rank, you got to know the history of top rank.
I heard.
Bob Barrow, a good guy. See, I don't know if you know that Bob Barrow was the top attorney general under Bobby Kennedy.
Didn't know that.
Bob Barrow came in boxing in 1966.
Right.
Started working with Ali, so I fought him. Bob have been in this business a long time. Harvard grad. Bob's a lawyer. A lot of people don't know that, but Bob Evans is a lawyer. As well as Lou Bella. See, in this business, you have to know the business. You can say, show two guys fight. You know, I was there for once and for all. Mike Tyson, Michael Spinks. In the camp a lot of time with Michael Spinks. Wonderful guy. I was a part, you know, of September to Remember. Michael Spinks, Larry Holmes. I was right there with Butch. A lot of parts. As I said, I fought my former champion over in England. I cannot remember the guy name he fought. Was a kid in a good position. I don't know if he ever got a title shot or not, but you know, when Ricky Hatton was coming up, I was in the midst of getting former champions over there to fight him. Freddie Pemberton, I was with him his whole career. And you know, he came over there and fought Ricky Hatton, the former lightweight champion of the world. So I've been blessed, Brother Jones, to be a part of a lot of big events. So many. A lot of big events. I've been a part of a lot of mayor campaigns. I've really been blessed, brother. The country boy who came through the streets, fell, but I got back up. I tell anyone, you fall, get up, dust your hands off, and get to work, do something constructive. That's what I want these kids to know. You can do something for yourself and your community, but you gotta get your education, you gotta get yourself in a position to give back. That's my perception. That's why I've been blessed.
Now,
I tried to do what is right.
Now there may be people listening and go, yeah, but they're old people. What have you done with people today? And I would say, I heard that you had a very close connection with Teofimo Lopez, the current undisputed lightweight champion of the world.
Teofimo Lopez, my man. That's my guy. And I told the world that I was with him. I said he would win, and he won. Not taking nothing away from Lomachenko. Good fighter. But style makes fights. And he had the right style. I'm going to tell you why, and I want all my family to know why he beat him. Lomachenko was a very smart, intelligent guy. But he saw that power in Madison Square Garden last December 14th. Teofimo Lopez beat him then, and they hadn't even fought. I say that to say this: Lomachenko wasn't ready to rush in there. So Teofimo beat him at his own game. His father predicted this. We'll be undisputed about 16 fights. Never take that away from Lomachenko. Good fighter. Against claimers, got it done. With David, they got it done with him. And he came out victorious. That's my point. And you know, Jesse Hart, recently I got him 2 world title shots through Top Rank. He's my nephew out of Philadelphia. His father, Cyclone Hart, was a great Philadelphia fighter. So I'm around a lot of fighters today. It's just that I'm more as a advisor today, Brother Jones, than I was a matchmaker. Because being a co-manager today, it's not my cup of tea. Because the guys today, most fighters today, they want to give. They don't want to put the work in. I'm not taking none away from Floyd Mayweather, one of the greatest boxing businessmen. I'm not going to say great fighter. Good fighter. But he's one of the greatest businessmen in the history of the sport. That's my perception. And you know, I'm doing a lot of things today. Not well as yesteryear. Teofimo father always called me for advice. I try to steer kids, you know. Normally I got somebody on every top man card, Rudy Bella card. You know, Jesse Hart, I got him 2 world title shots. I was there with him in the ring, advising him through Top Rank. So I'm still visible, even though I talk about yesteryear. And my thing with yesteryear, I like fighters, athletes, anyone that put the work in, Brother Joe. I guess I did say I'm old school.
That's the way it should be, brother. Old school.
Coming to the gym with a brand new Mercedes, and you ain't have it with two pro fights. Come on, man. We're giving these fighters too much today. Not saying they don't earn it and need it, but you got to put the work in.
Absolutely.
How you think we got from the outhouse to the White House? We had to work, march, and pave the way, and set up for Obama to go in 2008, 2009. It's a process, Brother Jones. Life is a process. Nothing comes to a sleeper but a dream. Am I right, Brother Jones? You have to work to make your dreams come true.
And work smart.
Put the work in. Am I right, brother?
You got to work and you got to work smart.
You got to be very smart at it. But you got to put the work in.
Absolutely.
No
Absolutely.
one is going to give you anything. That's my perception on boxing today. A lot of these fighters, let me tell you something. Guys getting shot today. Let me take over. It's not taking away, let me take over. Guys before him, I know guys that never got a shot. Never got a shot. Great guys. So nowadays it's more politics than it was in the late Alimenta, Henry Cooper's time, Joe Butler's time. And Midget Pope, Georgie Bent, great trainer, Slim Robinson, and Lou Duber's days. Them guys had to put the work in. You see what I'm saying, my brother?
What do you make of these celeb?
That's about progress, bro.
What are your thoughts on sort of like racism within boxing? Do you think it exists? Do you think it still exists? People say it does. Some people say it doesn't. Does it?
You know what? We're going to go back. A lot of fighters, black fighters, a lot of fighters play the race card.
Right.
But I can say that I never had that problem. I never had that problem. I don't know what's my reputation in the streets, why I didn't have that problem. That's here near. I believe in doing what is right. See, I ain't with all. See, I'm from a different era. I think smarter now. Before I didn't do comedy, I check your hand. You cross me, I come see you. But you can't do that nowadays. You have to do everything legit and business-wise. So I think the old way was better than when corporate America got involved and these TV producers who want to be managers. It don't work, brother. It don't work. I'm very surprised that Oscar was able to get Ryan Garcia and the new camera fight done. Because there's so much politics, brother.
Really?
So much moving and shit.
Why?
Because, not taking that away from Austin Bernard, Robert Diaz, them guys over there, but I thought the progress would have been easy. And they got it done. Oscar and his people got it done with Luke. And I got much respect for Eddie and his father. But they couldn't get the Wilder done. When there's a lot of big egos there, it gets in the way. Where they couldn't get it done, DK and M would have got it done in no time. Because you got to be able to communicate. It's about communication, brother, in all walks of life. Dr. MUHAMAD have always said that. The minister said that. I heard Billy Graham said it. It's about communication. And I don't see racism in boxing. I've never had to deal with it. I'm not saying others didn't. Like they saying, now they put out. Now they got a rumor. If JD's would have stopped the fight, it wouldn't have been no problem. But Mark stopped the problem. Everybody get no mark. All these people get no mark. That's not right, Brother Joe. The man is in the corner to protect his fighter. He thought his fighter had enough. I want my fighter to live to see another day. Isn't that part of the business?
It's part of the business.
What are you saying crazy stuff? I want to go out on my shield. That's crazy. You trust a man for 12 years in your corner, but you don't trust him to stop a fight that you was way behind him and already been knocked down a couple times. You see what I'm saying? We take things out of context. Now he's riding this guy, but he had the fixed up glove. Come on, man. It's controversy. Same thing they did with Alabama. People just put stuff out there, and people have to live with it and tarnish their career and tarnish their image as a person.
So why is Deontay Wilder gone so quiet? Do you know?
Deontay Wilder, and you have heard me say many times, Brother Jones, a fighter is only good as his team. If you don't have the people around you, you can't have a bunch of yes men around you getting a check. You gotta have people around that gonna advise you to do what is right because you got them there. So I don't know, but I don't like the decision. I haven't spoken with Shelly Finker, my dear friend. I spoke with his secretary, Ms. Cecilia, but I haven't got to Shelly yet. He haven't returned my call, but yeah, he will. Shelly and I go back 40 years. I think this was created something. You make statements, I'm going back to Africa to get my crap. I just, when you don't have people around you to encourage and advise you, these things that happen, bro. People saying that if JD would have stopped the fight, Brother Jones, it would have been no problem. Everybody hopping on poor Mark Breland. Mark's 63 years old. He did what he thought he was right. He was a fighter.
Junior Jones said the same thing.
What he thought he right.
This Junior Jones, the 3-weight world champion, legendary Junior Jones, turned around and said that it's because Mark Breland's not a yes man. That's why he got sacked.
Junior Jones, my dear friend, smart guy. See, let me say something to you, and I stand on what is right. My crew was ready to roll because Mark Breland's my family. I got some renegade cousins down there in South Carolina. Mark grew up in New York, but Mark was born in Denmark, South Carolina. Mark is my family, and people know me. Shelly reached out to me. Me and Shelly talked. I said, Shelly, you got to straighten this out, man. You got a 62-year-old guy that's been law for 12 years. You got him crying on letting him in the dressing room. That's crazy. Mark's a stand-up guy. Mark and Brother Joe believe me. And I prayed for Buddy McGirt. Buddy went through a tragedy down there in Maryland. And Mark stood up, man. I can't let my fighter get damaged for life. I'm going to stop it. Mark stopped it. And it's been taking a beating ever since. But that's why, but only real boxing guys support Mark. Bunch of yes men is saying that it's Mark's fault. It's not Mark. Mark didn't knock you down twice before the 7th round. Wilder did it. Tyson Fury did it.
But okay.
And I'm gonna say something, Brother John. I'm standing on.
Okay.
Tyson Fury beat Wilder when he got up in California. He just had to wait a few months to do it. He beat Wilder when he got up in California. He beat him. They took it from him in California. When he got up, Wilder said, Tyson Fury said, I'm going to get some people. We're going to show him. And if you look at the fight, this man beat him at every angle. Sugar Hill was a master that night. Sugar Hill took a page out of all the old big guys' books. Buster Mathis, Tim Witherspoon, Greg Page, Tony Tubbs. Put that big weight on him. And that's what they did. And if you watch the fight, Sugar Hill took a page out of everybody's book that came before Tyson Fury and used it. And he was blessed to come up with the fight. Now it's a glove. First, I guess you ain't got no strength. I guess Tyson Fury made you wear that 40-pound costume. First it was Mark Breland. First it was the costume. Now they on the glove. It's crazy. You see what I'm saying? It's just, I don't think it's racism, Brother Joe. I think it's more controversy. Create controversy. You know, controversy sells.
Of course,
controversy sells, papers, magazines. That's what they're doing, man.
So Malik Scott coming in for Mark Breland.
Mark Breland.
Malik Scott.
Not only disrespected.
Yes.
They did this man horrible. And I've been getting calls. I just watched the tape. This man been with Shelly his whole career. To see my dear friend holler at one of his fighters, one of his students, was crazy. The man, I'm standing with Mark Breland. I'm trying to stand social and not go to the streets. I'm not about that, but I can be about that. But sometimes everything's happened for a reason. Maybe it's best, maybe he served the purpose after 12 years. Shame it happened that way. Mark's a good guy, humble guy, 63 years old, move on. Work with some other kids. Because what Mark was teaching him, he didn't learn nothing, no way. He wouldn't listen, he relied on that raw power.
That's exactly what
John
said.
And I still say today, and I'm standing on it, and I got much love for Sam Watson and Shirley Baker. I still believe I still believe that, because style makes fights. So AJ came up short in Madison Square Garden, because they brought him a pony he knew nothing about. Brought him a kid that was hungry, and then, you know, I'm not making excuses for AJ, but it is what it is, man. Everybody has a time. And I said in a lot of people, Joan, all the great guys lost. So why can't Wilder, he lost, he got his butt beat. Mike Tyson took it, got knocked out February 10th, 1990 in Tokyo by a B fighter that fought for the title before and got knocked out by the former WBA champion, IBF champion, Tony Tucker. Everybody, Ray Robinson, Ali, Carmen Basilio, all of Rocky Graziano, all the Ray Robinson, great fighters, they lost. So why can't Wilder accept the loss? Why all these excuses, man? But that comes when you don't have the right team around you. That's what I'm saying, brother. This man, Brother Jones, you're a journalist. You see every day. Wilder is, Marcus take a lot of beats, brother, which shouldn't be. If anybody knows this sport, the man did what was right. He saved his fighter's life. And you talking about dog got a system. What system you want to go out on your shield? That means what, you want to go to the funeral home? I ain't never heard nothing like that in my life. I've been in this game 53 years. You understand what I'm saying, brother? That's what I'm saying, brother. You know, that's my perception.
However, you say that, you say all of that, but Mark Breland was the assistant coach. JG is the head coach. So
let me explain something to you. JD, he never had a fight in his life. Wilder was the first guy he worked with. He used to do some small stuff for the late Butch Lewis. I got all the contracts to back it up. He used to do some minor stuff down there in Alabama, but he never had nobody on Wilder's. Mark Breland is a superstar. Olympic gold medalist, one of the greatest ever in New York, two-time welterweight champ of the world. Who got more credibility, him or JD?
Yes, brilliant.
So people talk, but JD, the man is what he is. The man from Alabama, and Alabama speak for itself. That's how I'm gonna put it. The history of Alabama speaks for itself, in my concept. I know when Wilder run the Browns, I was asked by Carl King to make a pitch. That's Don's son.
Yes, I have. I've met him.
In history.
Lovely
to
guy.
Make a pitch for Wilder. But I told him it's not going to work out. This is not the guy we want. So he invented you with Shelley, and I got much respect for, I said before, much respect for Shelley Finkel. But sometimes, you know in life, Brother Jones, everything runs its course, right?
Yeah, it does.
So we have to be mindful of what are we doing and what are we saying. I think Wilder hurt his credibility by being a sole loser. Tyson Fury was the best man that day. Let the man have it. He spanked you that day. So certainly like Robinson, Graciano, Cummins, all them great guys before you, Joe Creighton, them guys accepted. Joe accepted his loss in Jamaica 1973 against George Foreman. Great guys. You will lose one way in life. I'm right wrong, Brother Joe.
You can lose and you can come back.
That's what I'm saying. But nobody wants to see him again. And you can't say this is generating for the third fight. But look at all the people that's getting hurt in this. You choosing Mauricio Suleiman. I watched him grow up with his father. Of being sad, you choosing the commission. You saying everybody did something wrong. You wasn't ready. You thought the bottom line, he thought the big right hand was going to get him home. But Sugar Hill and Tyson Fury and other camp members were ready for that big right hand. They neutralized it. That's what happened. You know, before, when he beat all everybody else, or then the ring, Harlan Bond squad, they won the Harlan Bond squad, they went 22nd in the Las Vegas. Came in as the Gypsy King, went out as the Gypsy King. I give credit where it's due, Brother Jones. Don't care whatever you do in life, if I think it's good, I'm standing with you. The man won fair and clear. Don't create no controversy. Because it's not right and it's not good.
What about the expired contract that they're talking about? You know about contracts.
You know what? I haven't seen the contract. It's been brought to my attention. I don't think it's worthy of the rubber match. You can't make a rubber match. These guys are not qualified for the Thriller in Manila, the Rumble in Africa. Both of the guys are good guys, but they're not. And Wilder's a good, and I'm not going to take nothing away from Wilder. Wilder's a good family man. Take good care of Mama Wilder. But big brother, straighten your act up. Do what is right. Accept your laws and go back to the drama, like you said. Brother Jones, you can come back. Do some soul searching and come back. But you got to be fair with your team. If you ain't fair with your team, then you're not responsible. That's my outlook on it. As a boxing guy that knows the game in and outside.
What about Malik Scott, his new trainer?
Who?
Malik Scott.
Wilder's new trainer?
Yes.
I ain't never heard of.
Heavyweight. He fought as a heavyweight. He's a heavyweight. Ballhead. Heavyweight. Southpaw. Slickster. From Philadelphia.
What'd you say his name is?
Malik Scott. Wilder knocked him out in a round. They're best friends.
Jesus Christ. My homie, Malik, my neighbor, Malik Scott, I know him real well. I know him and his mother real well.
Right. So he's supposedly going to be assisting Deontay Wilder now.
And you know, for a lot of years, Malik Scott was undefeated.
Yeah, I know. I knew Malik well. He was on my channel a lot of the time.
And look at the pattern now. I'm going to show you something, Brother Jones. You know, but you ain't look at it. Malik Scott, look at it now. Another one of Shirley Finger fighters. Look at it now. But you're a businessman, you're a church guy. Look at it, Brother Jones. Did you know that Shirley was his manager too?
No.
Shirley was his manager. You got to look at it, bro. I see all this, bro. I don't say nothing. I don't talk bad about nobody. Shirley's my guy. But I don't think that Malik Scott is the guy for him. If you ain't learned nothing since 2008 and 12 years, you ain't gonna learn that. You gonna go back to your old habits, depending on that delivering that big right power, that big right hand. Sometimes the right hand don't deliver, and sometimes the right do deliver. I never forget DEONTAY, good boxer, top ranked fighter. Mike Weaver came in there, kept his pose, and clocked him in the 15th round for the title, March 31st, 1980, and that's still Tennessee. That's the night that Eddie Mustafa Muhammad knocked out Marvin Johnson. So when guys say, I know this business, I know these people just talking, but they don't know the business part of it. You just know the business part ins and outs, what it takes to get a guy in there. That's why I said, and I believe the only thing that I think that Frank Warren did wrong with Ricky Hatton, I think that Frank Warren should have got him an American promoter, not American trainer, to assist the original trainer before he fought Mayweather and that. Because you got to remember, Ricky Hatton fought a lot of former world champions before he even got to Mayweather. So Frankie did it right. The same thing, you know, I had a fighter that lost his championship. What's the fireman name over there? My kid with Joe Louis Manley. What's the fireman kid that was over there that ledge? He had an incident with Frank Warren.
Terry Marsh. Terry Marsh.
Terry Marsh. See what I'm saying? So we won the title, we go over there, and then we lose to Terry Marsh. So everybody loses in life, man. I don't know why. And you know I'm not going to say I know Malik when he was a kid. I know him all his life. But I'm looking at it. You get rid of a legend, and you bring in a guy, decent fighter, not a great heavyweight, from my neighborhood. I got much respect for him and his mother. But I just don't think that he changes anything, Brother Jones.
He's a yes man.
I don't think that he can do anything with this guy. They want to bring in someone crazy as Floyd is. You can talk crazy to Floyd. And Wilder has people around him that he dictates to. And I don't think this is a good addition.
Wow. Wow. Let's move on. Mike Tyson and Roy Jones, one for the ages.
My Muslim brother, former youngest heavyweight in history, Mike Tyson. What can you say about Mike Tyson? Mike Tyson, a good guy. Got my mentor out there with him. My dear Sister Frida, and my Imam Shamsuddin Ali, good brother. And you notice Mike came a long way back, huh?
Yes.
Mike's doing Mike, and not taking away from Roy Jones. They both former heavyweight champions. You know, we just got to wait and see what happens. See, Mike, you got two great guys there that was great fighters in their time. So it might be all right. I ain't saying who will win, who will lose. I'm just saying you got two good, outstanding fighters. You got a Bronze medalist, and you got a guy that won the Junior Olympic, Mike Tyson. So it should be one to watch there, my friend.
What do you make of the fight being 2 rounds, calling it an exhibition bout? You know, what are your thoughts on all that? 8 rounds.
Well, you know, I don't really know how they doing it because I wasn't involved as far as getting either side no sparring partners. I really haven't paid much attention to it. Some people say that Al Heyman is involved. I don't really know because I haven't talked to Sam Watson. And first of all, at my age, if I ain't getting no check, I won't be involved no way.
I hear that.
But it should be interesting.
I hear that.
I'm more focused on the upcoming fight with Luke and Ryan Garcia because I think Luke should be able to expose Ryan Garcia. I don't think much of Ryan Garcia. Got talent, But when you move up, and just like people said that they shouldn't make Charles Brooks with Terrence Crawford. But Charles Brooks, former champ of the world, he's an elite fighter. Why not?
Can he beat Crawford?
Huh?
Can he beat Crawford? Has he got the power to hurt Crawford?
You know, you already know I'm a Crawford guy.
Yes.
And, you know, I'm going to say this. I got respect for Charles Brooks and his people. May the best man win. That's all I'm going to say on that. Because I like both of them, and Crawford's my friend.
I want to ask your opinion on Dillian Whyte's performance against Alexander Povetkin and the rematch and how soon it is.
You know, I didn't even see it. You know why? Who knows what he's doing? Did he pass the test to get to the fight? This guy.
Well, he got knocked up by Povetkin, and now he's had 28 days rest, and he's going back and fighting Povetkin again.
You know, I didn't even watch it, man, because I watch fights a day that benefits me and my family. If I ain't got nobody in the camp, if anybody don't call me for my parents or the assistant buyers in the camp, I don't get involved with them. I'm too old for that, man.
Right. I hear that. I hear you.
But I'm more into guys that I know and the guys I'm working with, like Jesse Hart, TEOFIMO, Lopez. I'm advising. I helped Brad Goodman, them guys out of top rank. Rudy Bella can call me. You know what? Them guys I don't even follow, so I don't make comments on nothing that I don't know about.
I hear that. I hear that. I hear that. Coming back to the book, what is something that people give me a reason why people should get this book that you've got?
The reason they should get this book, you can learn a lot where I came from. Not only this book, it's 3 coming.
Right.
The third part is going to be about my medical issues over the years.
Right.
You have to go to 1 to get to 3.
Okay.
That's why they should get the book. You can learn a lot from the book. Kids can learn a lot. Not only I'm talking about boxing, I'm talking about social issues, right? What we need to question about, what we need to do for our community. And that's not only about boxing, it's about life as well as boxing, as well as my health problems down through the years. Because we all can learn. These kids don't know today the struggle I get from the cotton field to get where I'm at, sit down with former presidents, and sit down with Queen, got to meet the late great President Mandela in New York on the strength of Reverend Sharp and Reverend Jackson and Butch Lewis. So I came a long way, man. That's why they should get the book and pass it out to these children. You can see, you can always get up and you get down, dust yourself off, and keep working.
So, when does your book come out, Brother Leon?
The book is, you can pre-order now.
Okay. Where do they pre-order?
And I think Susan gave you the stuff.
Okay. Okay.
The card.
Sure. Well, all that information will be in the description box in this video, and they will be able to find out more. If people want to contact you, how do they contact you, Brother Leon?
If people want to contact me and want me to do a speaking engagement or whatever, tell them to pay time or something, all they got to do is get with my good Christian brother, Brother Jones over there, and he'll reach out for Dr. Khan. I'm available in any way to talk about any section. Whatever you need for Brother Jones, I'm available, brother. Thank
you very much. And that comes to the end of our interview. Thank you so much, Brother Leon Muhammad. It's just a pleasure talking with you, and we look forward to speaking to you again very soon.
And once again, I want to thank all my supporters in England and Australia for the support that they have given me on YouTube. Thank you, brother. Goodbye, and God bless you. Continue to bless you in your ministry.
Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Bye-bye.
Yes, sir.